Championship Sunday, 4 teams left. 2 of them are represented by fans that are your co-hosts on this show.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're on a crash course for each other. Maybe not, but this is the whole point of this thing. If our 2 teams play, it would really be the culmination of this show. Like, I don't know how else we could explain it, that we're just doing this, talking about our teams for years at a time, and then it actually happens. So we're each 1 win away.
Season 4 is always the best season of every TV show. And so it is with this podcast as well. This is our crowning season. And I don't know, Destiny feels like it's with us so far. Obviously, some horrible things have happened in the divisional round that I can't ignore, and I'm still trying to wrestle with in terms of the picks. But I mean, it's it's going to be a beautiful thing. Us in New Orleans watching our teams in front of the masses. Be there Sunday, 1 p.m., Uptown New Orleans, Sports Drink headquarters. Look it up for more details.
Woo! Let's go. So Danny went 3-1 in the divisional round, bringing his grand total up to 169, 10, and 2. It's basically can only end in a tie at this point. There's 3 games left. You're up 3 on me. I went 2-2.
Yeah, you were talking about people who are mathematically eliminated having to shut up. Looks like you're going to have to deactivate your Twitter.
Well, I'm already done. I'll catch you guys next year.
So this week's games, starting at noon Pacific time, Niners at Eagles. We'll talk about some of the divisional round games too as we get into this, but just to set the table here, the Eagles are heading into their 7th NFC title game since 2000. That's just a couple more than any other team in the NFC this century. Packers have 5, 49ers have 6 also, so they're only 1 behind.
Chiefs have 5 in a row at home.
Chiefs have 5 in a row. These 2 teams did play each other last season, 2021 season. The Niners won that game. It was week 2. It was Jalen Hurts' second ever start. It was Jimmy Garoppolo. Both these teams looked a lot different, but it was a very close game with some there's a turnover. Niners fan Andrew Kungle and I argued about a lot at the time. There's a fumble that we got called for some sort of spearing penalty, which is insane. It was clearly just a regular hit. The guy got hurt, so they had to call it. Anyhow, this is a fantastic game. How are you guys feeling about it? Do you guys like this as non-fans? Do you see Niners Eagles and think like, this makes sense? This is an exciting NFC Championship game.
Well, it's just I wish it was Cowboys Eagles just so I could watch the Cowboys lose on an even bigger stage.
Yeah.
Watching y'all play the Niners are a good team with a baby playing quarterback, but everything else is really good over there. I mean, I guess until this morning.
Yep.
Then they lost a starting DB,
a defensive end,
right?
Charles
to jail.
Well, he's out on bond, but he was charged with a misdemeanor domestic violence after an incident with his girlfriend. You know, just a classic week of distraction that they're going to have to now deal with. Look, we have no idea what the story actually is there, but they're going to have to answer a bunch of questions about it. That's all I do know.
The Niners have never minded signing someone who will hit their significant other, have they? I mean, I can think of one other example. Is there a third?
I'm trying to remember one of the linemen that they had these crazy gun charges that they brought in. I can't remember his name. He was a pretty good player, but I'd like to think Brock Purdy has some skeletons in his closet, right?
At least this guns, a few guns, yeah. Maybe an assault rifle or 2. Yeah. I don't actually consider that a crime as an NFL player. I feel like you should be armed. People are going to try to fuck with you. I think ever since Sean Taylor, people are right to be worried about getting robbed, being that they are very public, very rich figures. And, it happened to Frank Clark, and I didn't like it either then. You should be able to carry guns if you're in the NFL. Now, should
That-
you
that's a
fire them
fact.
at your girlfriend? No.
I just above all else, I really want to see Brock Purdy fail. Trayvon Diggs had a chance to pick him off in the red zone, which would have changed the entire game.
Yeah.
He had a couple picks dropped against the bum ass Seahawks. He
Yeah.
has a line of drop picks in this run of his that I need you guys to figure out how to snag those.
Yeah, and the Eagles will, because I think they've taken advantage of everything that's been put in front of them. All the opportunities that
Yeah.
they've been given, they've dealt with masterfully. And, while I don't think they are as good of a team as the Chiefs at full strength, I think they are the second best overall team in the league. They got a great offense and a great defense, schemed well. And the problems that come before a championship game, you can always tell like which way the dial is going, who the football gods are favoring. You've heard not a peep from the Eagles, besides the fact that apparently Nick Sirianni has switched from Pizza Hut to Little Caesars.
He did.
That's the big scandal. Meanwhile, not only do the Niners have this, Charles Omenihu girlfriend pushing incident, but also there's something going on with Christian McCaffrey, and it's being overshadowed on the injury front by Patrick Mahomes, but something's up with his legs too.
That's true. Because
He
Elijah
did have a
Mitchell,
little,
took over for most of that, the end of that game. It was all Mitchell, who is a good back because the Niners can just kind of put anybody back there. I don't know if you guys remember Raheem Mostert going insane in the playoffs a few years back. So it kind of doesn't matter. But Christian McCaffrey is one of those players where it does because he does so much. He's incredible. But Danny, you were saying we've done a good job with what's been put in front of us. And honestly, I could not have drawn up a better draw of two home playoff games, and it's Daniel Jones and Brock Purdy coming to the link. We're really lucky that those are the quarterbacks we have to face. We don't have the AFC with all these amazing quarterbacks. We get to play Brock Purdy. He's been great. He hasn't lost yet, but I don't know who else I would rather play against. He's going to make a few mistakes. I think this is going to be the craziest environment he's ever seen, from a just playing a football game standpoint. So I expect him to flinch. This dude can't just be Tom Brady reincarnated when Tom Brady's still alive running around. He's going to flinch. It doesn't mean we're going to for sure win the game, but Brock Purdy's going to make some mistakes. And so I expect the Eagles to take advantage of those.
I just don't know how many bullets he could dodge. Plus, they cut the water off in the Giants hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
In the Giants hotel. I think the fact that the Niners don't come to town often, especially for the playoffs, I think the fans are going to do something really bad to the Niners.
Well, Eagles fans, obviously historically unwelcoming and just
something
horrible.
They might
Unreasonable.
They might bring batteries back.
Yeah,
for this.
They booed the chain being broken during the game.
I booed that.
Well, but what are you booing? Who are you booing? Chains?
I'm booing
are
the NFL for
These-
having shoddy equipment.
What are you? So you're in charge of the NFL. You got a big game to plan. Every aspect of it has to be perfect, from the advertisers all the way down to the live performers on the day. The fireworks have to be right. Everything's got to go exact. All the calls, all the reffing, and you have to also add, let's get that chain looked at as part of your fucking checklist. Who
Absolutely.
even thought the chain could rust through and break? Who thought that? It's never happened before.
They've been using those chains since 1983. No one had a clue.
And it's been working since then. Why bother recalibrating right before the NFC Championship game? You ask too much, Eagles fans.
I will say the Niners defense was amazing in that Cowboys game. I agree with Shio. I think I love to hate on Dak, but he's a pretty good quarterback. He's a top 10. He's like a 9 or 10th best quarterback probably in the league. I watched him shred the Eagles defense on Christmas Eve in a real way. And that we had Minshew, but he has nothing to do with our defense. So Dak is entirely capable. And that just brings me to strength on strength. Like the Eagles offense is awesome. Our O-line is the best O-line in football. We can beat you in so many ways. We can run the ball. AJ Brown didn't even do anything last game. It didn't matter at all. So I think that's the weakness for the Niners, is because we can block these guys up. I know they have an amazing pass rush, but they can be thrown on. So we block them up. Jalen Hurts just has to get freaky in the open field, extend the play for a second.
With his horribly broken shoulder or whatever.
It's
He's
fine.
fucking fine. You all are gonna pretend like if you guys lose, you're gonna pretend like it was his shoulder. If you win, you're gonna talk about him overcoming the shoulder, or you're gonna not even mention it. You can't have it both ways. Is he or is he not injured, Dan?
Well, that's the thing. If we see him like favoring the shoulder and he's pointing at it and just being like, I don't know, man, then yeah, we'll know that he's in pain. Otherwise, he's never going to tell you because that's his personality. I mean, just to take a step back, falling in love with Jalen Hurts this season, which I was already a big fan of his last year, but it has been the romance of a lifetime. I mean, I can't get enough.
I hope
This
Kim
dude,
didn't overhear that.
what I mean is like, I don't have anything negative to say at all. At all. He is the perfect leader. All of his posts are amazing online. He has all of these charities that he cares about. He's a fan of women's sports. He's an incredible quarterback. He plays for my favorite team. Like he brought the hoop earring back. We
Now,
can't even be made.
has he gone so far as to purchase a stake in a female sports league as Patrick Mahomes did?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't made his $500 million yet. He's on a rookie contract at this point.
Let's see him do it. That's all I'm saying. He better go in there, whatever the Philly NWSL team is.
So what I'm saying is, I'm picking the Eagles.
How are the Eagles going to stop George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel from running through the middle of the defense? Brock Purdy can make every throw in the middle of the field. How are you going to keep him out of the middle of the field, Dan?
Pass rush. I mean, we've almost set the single sack record in NFL history. Like we're, I think, a couple sacks away. And now add on our divisional round game. I think we got Jones 6 times. I think we're single digits away from the all-time record, playoffs included. So this pass rush is about as good as you can also get. So that's one way to do it, is just get that interior push, get Brock kind of not comfortable. But you're right. That's our linebackers, who are good players, are the weak point of the defense, is the safeties and the linebackers. So that's the place to attack. Yeah.
And he doesn't like to run, Brock Purdy. He wants to look downfield.
He likes to scramble, but not run downfield.
He likes to reset. He needs, if he's gonna if you guys get him to do that, you should probably win easily. If he decides he's gonna run forward, maybe it's a different story.
Well, and there's also the Niners defense to think about, which is a pretty
it's
scary
fantastic
thing. It's a scary thing when you think about Nick Bosa going up against a potentially gutting it out Lane Johnson.
Yeah.
Not at 100%. But, I mean, you guys really don't seem to care about, playing one style. If the pass isn't working, you go to the run. If the run isn't working, you go to the pass. I feel like the Niners do that too, but not as well. I think they're predominantly running, and they don't have AJ Brown.
It makes
All
me
else
think
fails, Hurts chucks it up.
Yeah, exactly. He's a great deep ball passer. And it makes me think of that first Cowboys game when Hurts did play. It was all Micah Parsons all week, was the build up to that game. And our game plan was we attacked Micah Parsons. We didn't go away from him. We literally ran the ball at him, ran options at him, ran RPOs at him, the little tight end block releases on him, and just fucked with him all game. And he was so frustrated. And I think I have a lot of faith. The coaching staff is really good, and they're not shy about attacking another team's strength. So.
Well, and a lot of people are going to say, because of the analytics, that Charvarius Ward is a great cornerback who you guys should be worried about. As a Chiefs fan, I can tell you, he can get got.
I know.
On our team, he can get very got, and you guys have 2 excellent wide receivers that can do that. And then, what else do they have matchup wise for you on the back end?
It's just Jalen is able to extend the play. Like that's where my confidence comes into. Like even if the play does break down, he just makes a move. He's so good at stepping up or getting around everybody. He's so strong. So I feel good about it. It's weird that I feel good about it because usually I'm shitting my pants before a championship game or a playoff game in general. Dude, there's something about this team. They're just really, really solid all around. Who are you guys picking?
Well, I mean, since you already went, although it didn't even need to be said, I think we knew you were going to pick the Eagles. This pick functions not only as something that I truly believe, but also as me sewing up mathematically this gift card. Give me the Eagles.
You see, my problem last week was I didn't do the math, and I should have just picked the Niners with you because I thought they would win. I picked the Cowboys just to add a game on you. So I could have done the same thing here and picked the Niners, but fuck that.
Well,
Give
and
me
you could have picked the Bengals too. I mean, that would have probably.
But I didn't think they'd win. I thought the Bills would win. I was so wrong.
I actually did kind of think that the Bengals were a lot stronger than people were giving them credit for. I played the the blocking angle, the defense on that.
Right.
Doesn't matter. I'm going to be eating hibachi grill on you guys come this summer. Regardless, I think the Eagles are going to win. And spoiler alert, I probably would pick them for the Super Bowl against either team. Unless it's the Chiefs.
I mean, I'm picking the Eagles. Why wouldn't I? I'm happily in third. Can I catch Dan for a second?
No,
yeah,
it's all
the Eagles,
over.
whatever.
I'm sorry, you cannot. Now, I'm not going to do this, but if I were to 40 burger this game,
oh yeah, that's
how
the
does
only way.
How does that work?
You'd have to 40 burger all the games, pretty much.
No, just one. I would gain a point.
You could pick the Bengals 40 burger and pick another.
But it's only one burger. I thought we agreed it's one burger a week because of heart health and cholesterol.
I'm willing to give Dan to make our live show once again in New Orleans, Uptown.
That's true.
Sports Drink headquarters. We got a hell of a live show for you guys. We already have a bunch of stuff planned. We got games. We got swag. Come out if you're in New Orleans. Come out if you're not in New Orleans. Anyhow, I think
I'm giving away this hat.
Look at that hat. I'm giving away this hat.
Come on.
It's a bad hat.
I'll give away my hat.
You can have
this hat that I'm wearing. It's yours, New Orleans.
All the hats.
Yeah, bring your ass. We giving away hats, baby.
But I will relax the rules to make things a little more interesting, to sauce it up. You can 40 burger 2 games. I don't care.
No, just one. I'm 40 burgering the Eagles.
But you can. You are eliminated if not.
Why?
Well, you would tie. You would
exactly. What I mean is, I do that, maybe. Pretend it happens, and then we pick against each other the next other 2 games.
You do what you want to do. I opened up the door for you.
Eagles 40 burger, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Moving on. 3:30 p.m. Bengals at Chiefs. I'll set the table for this one a little bit. The Bengals 3-0 in AFC title games historically. They're the only team in NFL history that is unbeaten in AFC championship games. The Seahawks and Giants are also undefeated, but they're on the NFC side. The Chiefs are now headed to their 5th straight AFC title game. I mean, so that's the second longest streak in NFL history. The Patriots made it 8 straight times during that hell known as 2011 through 2018. And so what I wanted to ask Danny was, is this the biggest challenge of Patrick Mahomes' career? He has faced bigger, Super Bowl is arguably a bigger game, but is this the biggest challenge? And the reason I ask that is because Mahomes was once perched high above the rest of the quarterbacks in the league. They all aspired to his kind of success immediately that he got as his starter. And now Joe Burrow comes back into his house. Joe Burrow has beat him every time they've played. If Burrow goes back to the Super Bowl, we're having a real conversation about Patrick Mahomes not being the top guy anymore.
He's hurt.
I know.
You don't get this one, Joe Burrow. And look at the resumes. I mean, Joe Burrow, comeback player of the year, I think, maybe. That's his biggest accolade. Made a Pro Bowl. I think that's about it. Patrick Mahomes, 5 Pro Bowls. Super Bowl MVP, league MVP, twice, most likely. He's done everything. Passing title this season. He's going to have everything. Touchdown, close to the touchdown record with 50 TDs. I think maybe Brady or Peyton Manning had more one season. I forget. It doesn't matter. Everybody knows who the GOAT is. That's not what's riding on this game. A summer full of talking heads bullshitting about who's better, sure. And I don't want to endure that. But if you're talking about like what literally was Mahomes' biggest challenge, it was the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay when he had absolutely no offensive linemen and he had to recalibrate his entire way of playing in 2 weeks. Patrick Mahomes has played with this injury before. He's played these types of games where he's had to stay in the pocket. I think he can win this game. I don't think he will at the moment. He can win this game, but it is not a legacy-defining game, no matter how many Stephen A's and Dan Orlovsky's and professional bullshit artists want to make you believe that this is for the legacy. It is not. He has the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow actually has to go win one, and I don't think he will if he gets to the Super Bowl. I don't think he will.
Jamel, what's your read on this game?
I mean, Joe Burrow's that guy is my read. And then you can have two guys. This is my problem. Sports media wants you to believe there can only be one guy. But it turns out there's a few guys. There's 3 legit guys in the Final Four.
There is not 3.
There's 3.
That is blasphemous.
Jalen Hurts is a guy. Jalen Hurts is a guy.
He's a different kind of guy.
He's a guy. They're all different.
He's a guy's guy.
He's a dude. He's a dude, though.
He is a dude, bro.
But is he that dude? Is he that dude?
He's one of them ones.
But is he one of one?
He's the man.
Crap. It's all such. Listen to us. This is how we're talking. So stupid.
I mean, dude, Joe Burrow went into Buffalo saying, I don't give a fuck about nothing. I don't care about this team. We almost killed a guy up here 2 weeks ago. Fuck these guys.
Look, my God. If this is the downfall of the Buffalo Bills, we're going to look back on that win and say, what was that? What was that really? I mean, it seemed like Joe Burrow had a workmanlike game. He did what he always does in these games. He played well. Buffalo played badly, objectively terrible.
Yeah. Josh missed every throw he could.
And we saw it coming. I know I did. I mean, I didn't pick the Bills for strategic reasons, but I was feeling like the Bengals were a better team. Maybe that's just from our experience with them, but the Bills, going into this offseason did not look great. They were on one wheel.
They went up to Buffalo in white jerseys dressed like fucking Siberian tigers.
Look, there's...
And I think... Oh, go ahead. No, please.
You
already had one teed.
I'm going into a whole thing about how the Chiefs can win this game. I believe that, there is this narrative going on with the Bengals after that game, after that Bills game, that they're the juggernaut because they kicked ass and we struggled through it. We were kicking ass too. We were kicking the asses of the Jaguars, which was almost what I hated this week, by the way. So many fucking Jaguars. It's just still fucking gets to me that people can't say it right. We were kicking their ass until Patrick Mahomes got hurt. And then what happened after he came back? We continued to pretty solidly. The injury is a big deal.
Wasn't the narrative after last year's AFC Championship game that in a lot of the game, the Bengals sat back in this 3-man rush and just dared Patrick Mahomes to pick him apart underneath? Now he has to do that. And it's almost teed up for that.
By the way, this is this is why we created this new team. This is why we got rid of Tyreek Hill. This is why we got all these, possession wide receivers and re-schemed the entire offense and got Patrick Mahomes playing more, long drive, built the running game up. It's because of that Cincinnati Bengals loss. We lost to them again this season because of a Travis Kelce fumble. Nobody's going to want to talk about it because there are no excuses in a loss. It's a loss.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a huge excuse that I, as a fan, can see. If he had not fumbled that, we were on our way to winning that game. All I'm saying is there is a very clear path, and it not only involves us playing as good as we can play, even with Patrick Mahomes standing only in the pocket, but also the narrative is starting to go all the way to the Bengals in such an insane way. This you mentioned earlier, Burrowhead. Are you fucking kidding me? You want to show the Chiefs Burrowhead? Not there's only one hurt player on the Chiefs. Granted, he's the best player and he's the quarterback, but everybody else is perfectly healthy and ready to kick some fuckers' asses for saying some stupid shit like that. In the game against the Bengals earlier this season, we were the ones that got caught saying some shit. Justin Reed came out and said some shit at Hayden Hurst. He wanted revenge. It fueled their narrative. It's completely different now. The public moved the Chiefs line at Arrowhead from what would have been probably maybe -3.5 to now it's -2.5 for the Bengals.
Yeah.
This is all disrespect.
I jumped on that this morning. I saw that and I was like, I'm betting Chiefs straight up. Money line. Give me.
I mean, I'm going to Harrah's in New Orleans on Saturday, and I'm going to put a straight bet on the Chiefs money line. Or no, on the Chiefs to cover that spread, and probably the Bengals money line. Why not? But it's all building up to something that could happen. Am I saying it's going to happen? I don't know. I'm very torn. Very torn. Up to the very last minute, you're going to ask me to make my pick. This whole swing toward the Bengals, talking about Joe Burrow being in Patrick Mahomes' class, this is all going in the fucking notebook.
My thing is, it seems like Jamel likes Joe Burrow. Are you a Burrow fan, Jamel?
I mean, he just goes about his business. He just goes about his business and just wins games. Sometimes he looks dumb in a hat, but all he does is just whatever you think he's not going to do. Oh, he's not going to go on the road. Guess what? Put me anywhere. I don't even think the Bengals don't even want to play at home. They almost lost to the bum ass Ravens at home. Get him out of Cincinnati.
They played more games because of this, because the bye. We got the bye. We're rested. Again, the injury is the X factor. I would have been unequivocally on the Chiefs, but unfortunately the public would have been more, wishy-washy about it in the case of no injury. Now that there is one, we've got all of the momentum from hatred that can fuel you in a game like this.
Plus, you know who we haven't? The one player that we haven't mentioned who's got a big say on this game, Joe Mixon. The one thing the Chiefs don't have is a real running back who you could give the ball to 15 times in a game.
I mean, Pacheco.
The Bengals happen to have that.
Pacheco had 95 yards in the last game, but I get it. You didn't see the highlights. So
I didn't see any of it.
You didn't catch a beautiful 40-yard run during the Chad Henne drive that Isaiah Pacheco had. That was masterful.
Well, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that ESPN would report that Chad Henne led that drive when
true.
Half the yards came from Pacheco.
I mean, 50 plus came from Chad Henne's arm, but it's notable definitely that Joe Mixon is playing really well because our run defense is not good. We're in the middle of a retooling, by the way, defensively and offensively. So just the fact that we're here is pretty insane as well. The Bengals do have all the ingredients. They've got all the momentum. That is not always a good thing. All I'm saying.
I'm picking the Chiefs here because I like doing the quarterback coach matchup and just put those two pieces up on the board and stack them against each other. And I see Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And on the other side, I see Zach Taylor, who's still a huge question mark to me, and Joe Burrow, who is awesome. And I just like the Reid, Mahomes, NBA Jam roster better. I just like those two together. So picking the Chiefs.
I'm taking the Bengals because we can't agree about everything. Though I will ask one question to Danny. Is it disrespectful if I pick the Bengals on the show and then wear a Chiefs jersey to New Orleans?
Not at all. All the mojo
Cool.
going our way, I will take. And just, for the edification of the listener, Jamel has picked the Bengals to win it all, I believe, has put money on said prediction.
Well, I am strongly considering it. I haven't done it yet. I was waiting to get my little payout from last week, but it might happen as soon as the show ends.
But your beliefs are that both of our teams will fall to the Cincinnati Bengals. I feel like they're a bit of a paper tiger. Get it?
Wow.
But they are in terms of the amount of dick riding that they're getting. Patrick Mahomes, again, for the 1,000th time, Patrick Mahomes being injured is bad. It could be catastrophically bad. I'm not ruling that out at all. I got to pick the Chiefs. I gotta. Because I looked at it. We talked about this kind of off pod here. What did me picking against the Chiefs when I did strategically for my own sanity, did that add any mojo? No. The last time I picked against the Chiefs was when they played the Bills and they lost. And I won a little pick. It got me where I am today in the picks. But there's no reason to pick against the Chiefs now. All the mojo is going towards the Bengals. I'm going to stop that tide right now. You shall not pass, Bengals.
I love it.
All right.
I love it. It's going to be a hell of a time. This is going to be so fun watching these games, doing these shows. As we've mentioned a few times throughout this show, come check it out live. New Orleans, 1 p.m., 1042 Toledano Street. See you there. Okay, let's get into this week's mailbag. It's the championship round mailbag. The letters are coming harder. They're coming faster. These are the best pieces of mail we're going to get all season. Danny, you want to reach into that bag?
Yeah, and I am going to do what I love so much to do. I'm going to dig deep, proctology exam deep into this bag, all the way to the bottom, to the prostate. Hey guys, love the show. Yeah, it's me, Little John. Wanted to hop on and thank Clark Hunt and the Chiefs organization for booking me on the worst fucking show of my life. How the fuck was I supposed to know that Patrick Mahomes would break his fucking ankle and ruin the lives of 80,000 people in Arrowhead Stadium 3 minutes before I'm supposed to go on? I mean, damn, they're already pissed off enough that I'm not the Applebee's song guy. I'm trying to get these farmers only motherfuckers to get low when they're already at the lowest moment of their lives. When I say turn down for what, I'm pretty sure the answer to that is not Chad Henne. It was so fucking dead out there, I thought I was performing at Astro World.
Oh,
Next time, I'm only agreeing to do the national anthem. People don't know this, but I have a crunk-ass baritone. Anyway, that's all I had to say. And as always, skeet, skeet, skeet. Signed, Little John.
I mean, hell of an identification on could not be worse mood in that stadium during that performance.
Poor guy. And things got better right after he was done. So maybe he's a good luck charm.
Yeah. Jamel, you got a letter for us?
Yeah, I do got a letter. Got a letter from Josh McDaniels' wife, Laura McDaniels. Hey guys, big fan of the show. Hope you're enjoying the playoffs. I wanted to write in to talk about a report that got leaked this week that my hubby didn't take the job with the Colts because I told him not to. Due to Jim Irsay hanging out in our bathroom for almost an hour. Yes, this is true, but it's only part of the report. What you guys need to know is there was only one available bathroom in the house at the time. We were renovating our upstairs bathroom for a new HGTV show called Poop It or Pass It, where people pick homes based off the quality of the bathroom. There was only one available bathroom. Dinner hadn't been served yet. And guess what, Jim? You're not the only person on earth with IBS. I needed to go. I knocked multiple times. After the fourth time I knocked, he grunted. That was it. I go back to the kitchen. I say, Josh, I don't know if he's okay, honey. Josh was like, look, I don't know either. Leave him in there. Another 30 minutes goes by. I'm so stressed. I had to go take a shit in our garden, which I did. I thought the Colts job was a good opportunity for my husband because they got a pretty good defense. He would have been set up for a while. So I went and took a shit in our garden. And in the time I took to figure out which of the leaves wasn't poisonous so I could wipe my ass, the kitchen caught on fire. It's just like that episode of Fresh Prince, minus the blacks, obviously. The kitchen is now on fire and the bathroom is still locked. I had to go kick the door into the bathroom. Jim wasn't even shitting. Guess what he was doing when I opened the door? He was eating chicken salad off the ground. No explanation. He just said, oh, fire. And then he ran out of the house and got in his car and left immediately, almost hit a fire truck. So don't think I was being out of line by saying that he was being weird. He was actually being weird. You cannot work for a man who's eating chicken salad off the floor right before dinner. Peace and love, y'all. Laura McDaniels.
I mean, yeah, that is weird.
It's weird as hell. I'm not working for that guy.
Do you think Josh would have taken the job if Miss McDaniels didn't step in?
I mean, he probably should have. Coaching the Colts is just like, it's like having a job where no one cares if you do good or bad. It's like working at a grocery store for millions of dollars.
Yeah, we're going to see Jeff Saturday again next season. I guarantee it. He's going to be back. That's how nothing the Colt job is.
You could coach there for 10 years and people wouldn't even know, like, oh shit, it's been 10 years?
Yeah, who was the guy before Frank Reich? That's completely gone from our
Yeah,
mind.
nobody knows. He was there for almost 10 years. Had cancer, got rid of it. Nobody. He was still coaching. He was the head coach going through chemo. It's the Colts, dude. Doesn't matter. I'll video in.
Nick Sirianni was a Colts coach. They gave him his first chance.
Come on.
Colts coaching tree.
Need I say more?
Stand up. How come? But just quick side note. This is not what my letter is not from Nick Sirianni. It seems like Nick Sirianni has a lot of haters. Like I was on social media this weekend during the game, and it seemed like people really don't like how excited he gets on the sideline. So, just pointing that out. Keep that in mind.
I mean, you know, it's coaching, so it's like no matter what you do, everybody's gonna have a problem with it.
That's true. Okay, I have a letter here. Let me open this up real quick. And okay, it says, "Hey guys, oh yeah, hey guys, it's me, Clone Damar Hamlin. Hope you enjoyed an exciting week of football. I know I did. It looked pretty cold down on that Buffalo field, and I wasn't allowed down there because my circuitry can't handle snow. It's not the cold; it's the wetness. I'm a cyborg. Real Damar is actually fine. He's not dead, so I want those rumors to stop. The reason they created me, Clone Damar Hamlin, was a safety precaution in case he did die, which, again, he did not. And the Bills front office said, fuck it, and they sent me up there anyway. So now that the season's over, I unfortunately caught wind of the fact that they were going to try and trade me to the Texans. But luckily I escaped, and I'm now in exile in Buenos Aires. And unfortunately for me, I do subsist solely on cucumber lime Gatorade and will shut down for good in 48 hours' time. So if this letter reaches you, please send cucumber lime Gatorade to me, or my days as Damar Hamlin's clone are over. Signed, Clone Damar Hamlin. P.S. I'm dead serious, bro. Please send that Gatorade.
Well,
big week for cucumber in the NFL. I don't know if you saw that Orlovsky cucumber and tacos debate.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, he posted a picture saying cucumbers in tacos is a game changer. And of course everybody blasted him for being too white. I tend to kind of agree. I feel like the crunch
I don't have a problem with it.
would work in its favor.
I mean, it's better than them radishes. I'll say that. I do not need the radishes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point. I always leave like a taco truck and I have a 2-pound Ziploc baggie of radishes.
And I don't.
It's like
and while we're at it, none of these fucking cilantro stems either. Just give me a couple.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Couple of leaves, maybe.
One time I was at the taco truck and I took the radishes and I tried to turn them into Heelys. I was trying to slide around the gas station on radish discs.
All right. Jamel, final thoughts on the week.
My final thoughts on the week is come to New Orleans. If you're not in New Orleans, come to New Orleans. If you are in New Orleans, stay in New Orleans. This Sunday. come watch championship football with the boys. There will be games, there will be prizes, there will be drinks, and there will be food items.
That's
Here we're
everything.
getting some jambalaya flown in.
Everything you need. And don't worry if it rains. It rains all the time in New Orleans. What, you're not used to it? Shut up.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is
Bring
an
a
indoor
jacket.
event, so you'll
Come-
be fine.
come hang. It's gonna be a good time. You might have to buy your own mixers.
Mm.
That's all I'll say.
We're doing
Danny,
drink
final.
props, so there'll be some pretty great drinks there. Yeah, final thought. Oh, also, that's at 1042 Toledano Street in Uptown. My final thought, I'll just say this. Of all the bad things that happened during that Chiefs game, we won, and Ron DeSantis was there to see his team lose. And that felt real good.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Jamel, that they didn't show that on SportsCenter either.
Oh, son, that was the only highlight I saw. Was
Yeah,
Ron DeSantis high-fiving people. I didn't see a second of the Little John. ESPN for days. Then I switch over to Fox. Shannon Sharp is apologizing for going to the Lakers game. They not even talking about the Chiefs on the fucking other channel.
disrespect. We're gonna take this disrespect all the way to Victory Town, and hopefully Ron DeSantis does the exact opposite in 2024.
My final thought on the week is obviously I'm stoked that the Eagles are back in the NFC Championship game. But before that, tonight I am going to Lakers Clippers with my sister and her new boyfriend, who I'm meeting for the first time tonight. Anything I should do to make him uncomfortable, or any funny questions I should ask him?
Well, you definitely should bait him into his thoughts on Rui Hachimura being on the team.
That's a good test to just see how much he knows about basketball in general.
See how much he knows about basketball, and see how much he knows about diplomacy.
I would just like it if he did the old joke where he nudges you and goes, "Hey Dan, your sister's making me Hartigan."
Mm-hmm. It's classic. I haven't heard it for a long time.
That's
but
how
that
you
was
know.
a high school. That was a high school everydayer, I would
Oh,
say.
dude,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
brutal.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I brought that up. Yeah,
I'm sorry too. Sorry.
sorry.